Our 15-7 Spurs are in New Orleans tonight, taking on the NBA team with the worst record in the NBA, the 3-21 Pelicans. Now, we will still be without Wemby. However, we are patiently awaiting news that possibly Stephon Castle can return tonight. He's not listed as out. He is listed as questionable. So we have a little bit of hope. And on the other side for New Orleans, they are missing all of their guys, but still looking to stop a 6-game skid. Can the Spurs handle business on the road and continue to stack wins and get back in that W column? We will break all that down right here on Spurs Digest. What's good, Spurs Digest family? I am your host, Bryan Colbert, here with another Spurs Digest pre-game show. Now, our Spurs are coming off of a loss, something we're not really used to this season, but I got a feeling they'll get back in that win column against a New Orleans Pelican team that is injured. Now, you heard me say it off the top. We have a lot of guys out too. However, the injury report leaves us at least a little optimism that hopefully we will be seeing one of our young stars. If not tonight, very, very soon. But before we get into that, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that doorbell to be notified every single time we post, because we are dropping content after content for y'all. Spurs Digest has quickly grown, and we want to continue growing, and all that is because of y'all. Our Spurs Digest family has shown so much love. Now, let's get right into tonight's game. Now, you know how we like to start the pregames with the official NBA injury report. And let me tell you, this one is thick, y'all, because both sides are banged up. Let's first look at New Orleans Pelicans. Zion out. Jordan Poole out. DeJounte Murray out. Herbert Jones, who is a very, very strong defender, is questionable. Then on our end, we know Victor out. Luke Cornett listed as questionable. But Stephon Castle also listed as questionable. A lot of times when a guy's questionable, it does not mean they will play. However, this is still a good sign that he is at least trending in the right direction. We heard Mitch Johnson say that both him and Victor are moving forward, which is, of course, what a coach is supposed to say. So, again, we do not know if we will see Stephon Castle tonight. However, things are trending in the right direction. This NBA injury report came out at 8:30 a.m. 8 a.m. Eastern time. And so there's still some time. There is still some time. Now, I do not know if Stephon Castle will be playing. I have not heard anything yet. However, seeing that he is just questionable at least bodes well for Spurs fans who have been so ready to see Stephon Castle back in action, especially next to De'Aaron Fox, right? Like, I want to see those two as much as possible. I want to see what those two can do. And we have some really strong guard play, and it's about that time that, you know what I'm saying, we see our guys together, but that has not been the case yet. However, if we do get Stephon Castle back, we will see him. We will see De'Aaron Fox, and of course, our young and future star, Dylan Harper. So we are all excited about that. But it is about tonight's game and who is actually playing. And somebody that is actually playing for the Pelicans, because, again, you saw their injury report is nuts. Trey Murphy III has been asked to do a lot for New Orleans because they have been so injured. They have missed out on so many guys. And right now, he has rose to the occasion. 20.5 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists. The guy does a lot of different things, but his best ability is his defensive ability. He is locked down, and he is one of those guys that we're going to have to really, really focus on tonight, because you don't want to let guys like him get off. You don't want to let guys like Sadiq Bey or Derek Queen get off. Derek Queen, if you are not familiar with this young rookie, that kid can ball. He is looking like a great piece for the Pelicans coming out of Maryland. He is like a very, I don't want to say undersized big, but he's just a big that does not look like your typical big, and he does not move like your typical big. He has had a great season so far, 12 points a game, 6 rebounds. But Trey Murphy, he is the guy that if we take him out this game, if we find ways to stop him and keep him from getting off, we will find success. When I look back at our loss that we just took to the Cavs, we really only played 1 quarter of bad basketball, right? We played 3 quarters of Spurs basketball, but that 1 quarter of bad basketball in the third quarter where we just let them go on that ridiculous run, we cannot allow the Pelicans to do things like that. I don't think they have the firepower that Cleveland has, right? Cleveland, one of the better teams in the East at 14-10. However, there's any time where an NBA team that is struggling could come out and try to get the most of a team that also has a ton of injuries. So once again, it is going to be the De'Aaron Fox show tonight. 25 points per game, 6 assists returning from injury. And we have just loved everything we have seen from De'Aaron Fox. I want to see him be the person that really takes up the tempo against this young Pelicans backcourt. I think he can pick them apart on both ends of the ball. And this could really be an easy outing for the Spurs. You need to not lose back-to-backs. I feel like that's what good teams in the NBA don't do. They don't lose back-to-back-to-back, right? They lose one game and then all of a sudden go on a winning streak. We have seen that from the Spurs this year. We haven't seen them fall too many times, which has been great. And also, mind you, we have not had Victor for quite some time. We have not been at full strength, but I have loved what this Spurs team has done so far. And I think we're all excited to see what they're able to do and continue to accomplish when they start getting healthy. Now, again, we do not know if we will get Stephon Castle back, but how great would that be? Especially against a team like this that is struggling, that does have a lot of young guards. Most of their guards are injured. We could really see them get comfortable. And that's what we want. We want to see that chemistry build. We want to see them get comfortable. But let's not mistake it. Like, I don't think anybody should be overlooking the Pelicans, right? Yes, they're not good. However, teams can find ways to win, and they do have guys. Like I talk about Derek Queen. This is going to be a night where we have to dominate in the post, especially if we don't have Wemby, especially if we don't have Cornette. A guy like Queen could easily get off. Yes, he is a rookie, but he is wise. He moves the ball well. He can do a lot of different things, and I don't think there's too much of a scouting report on him yet. So be careful, Spurs fans. If you have not really got to witness the Pelicans, they do have some guys that get it done, but this should be one of those tone setter wins for the Spurs. They should be able to get off to a fast start, but not only get off to a fast start, because that's what we did against Cleveland. You have to be able to hold that lead. You have to be able to show that you can play 4 quarters of consistent basketball. Now, again, Trey Murphy, their main perimeter scorer, how do we decide to guard him? How do we decide to hold him down? I don't think we did terrible against Donovan Mitchell. He did help them on that run in the third quarter. However, I have loved what I've seen from this team defensively, and I cannot talk about it enough. What makes the Spurs scary is 2 things. Their depth, because, again, I don't think anybody has a Keldon Johnson coming off of their bench, a Jeremy Sochan coming off of their bench, a Dylan Harper coming off of their bench. But the main thing we do, and what's going to continue to help us win, is the defense we play. Our defense, I put us up against any team in the NBA. And so when you're one of the better teams defensively in the NBA, you got to take teams like this and you got to knock them out the park. You got to get them up out of there. And I think tonight we are going to see our Spurs get the Pelicans up out of there. Very interested to see how our front court looks. Do we see a little bit of Biyombo tonight? Does Cornette play? Because there are ways that the Pelicans know how to get it done, right? But we haven't seen it yet. And I don't want to sit here and even act like I think the Pelicans have a chance, because I don't. But when you do these pregame shows, you do have to show some respect, because at the end of the day, that's an NBA team across the way too. And I'd hate to come out here and be like, we're going to blow these teams out, we're going to kill them, and then all of a sudden it don't go that way, right? So I never want to overlook a team. However, the Spurs this season, I love this pick. I think this pick is so fly, especially with all of the injuries that we have had, because you kind of see that depth that I talk about right here. And tonight is going to be a depth game. Tonight, we're going to rely on our bench to get off. We're going to have our bench playing big minutes. I want to see what Carter Bryant can do with a little more minutes. I want to see them let Dylan Harper off the leash a little bit, let him cook a little bit, because, again, this is where you want to see where your depth's at. This is where you want to see where your team's at. You don't want to take this team lightly. However, if you can get out to a big lead, if you can start strong and start fast, now we can lean on these bench guys, these other guys, to show what they're about, because I still want to see what Dylan Harper is truly about. I still want to see if Jeremy Sochan is a piece that either we can rely on to be a nice trade asset, or do we keep him around because of his defensive prowess? And then, of course, Keldon Johnson. I think there are so many eyes on Keldon Johnson. We talk about these trades. We talk about Giannis, talk about all these guys. It's hard not to mention Keldon Johnson's name in that. One, because he makes big money. He has a contract. But again, what he gives us off the bench, the energy, the effort, the scoring, the defense, the rebounding. He does so many things well. I'm looking at also this being a Keldon Johnson type night, especially because the Pelicans have struggled in the post. The Pelicans have struggled to guard forwards, and Harrison Barnes as well. We've seen him get hot. Devin Vassell, we know he can shoot. This is going to be an all-around team effort, and that's what I think I've enjoyed the most about watching Spurs basketball this year is it has been team basketball. Everybody is getting it done. And even in that loss to Cleveland, other than that third quarter, we have looked good. We look well coached. We look like we have effort. We look like we have focus. Guys finally have defined roles, which is something we have not seen from Spurs basketball in so long. So again, we are waiting to hear if Stephon Castle will play. But if he doesn't play, I still think we have some guys out there that can get it done. And you got to beat on bad teams, especially bad teams in the Southwest, right? Like, we're going to see the Pelicans a good amount of times this year. Let's make them pay. Let's get them done. We've already gotten them. And I want to see us continue to dominate these bad teams and show why we are that next future great team, especially in the West. I truly think in the West we can dominate. We have done it so far, and tonight is another chance to not only see our depth, not only see De'Aaron Fox get off, not only see Dylan Harper get more minutes, but just to show how dominant we can be on that defensive end. Because I guarantee you there is not a team in the NBA that is excited to play the Spurs because of that depth, but also because of our defensive effort. Let's see that tonight. Let's blow the Pelicans out. Let's get off to an early lead so we can see these young guys on the bench get more minutes, because you know Mitch Johnson is going to play his guys. Spurs Digest family, let us know. Are you excited about tonight's game? Yes, it's just the New Orleans Pelicans, but basketball is basketball, baby. Hoops is hoops. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I have no issue seeing my squad beat up on a team that only has 3 wins. I'm excited to see this. I'm excited to get back in the win column because, again, good teams don't lose back-to-backs. And we have not seen the Spurs do that often this year. Every time we lose, I think the last couple losses, we've won 2 straight afterwards, lost 2 straight afterwards, and I'm okay with that. Sometimes you're going to lose games. This is the NBA. But good teams, great teams, playoff teams do not lose twice in a row. And I do not expect to see the Spurs lose tonight against a Pelicans team that is struggling. Spurs Digest family, let us know in the comments. Are you excited about this game? Do you think the Pelicans got anything for us? Who do you want to see get off tonight? Do you agree with me? Do you want to see our bench play more? Do you want to see more of guys like Dylan Harper, guys that we might need to lean on as we get through this stretch? Man, y'all talking about all these trades. Y'all trade some of these guys. We're going to need guys like Harper, who I'm sure is never going to get traded. We're going to need guys like him to play big minutes. We need guys like him to step up. So in games like this where the stakes aren't very high, let's get out to a big lead and let's watch these young guys hoop. This has been a Spurs Digest pregame show. We got the New Orleans Pelicans tonight. I'm your host, Bryan Colbert. Let us know in the comments how you feeling. Again, remember, if you haven't yet, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that doorbell to be notified every single time we post. And as always, baby, go Spurs, go.